And here we are, the Clint Cronin 16. We're here with Asian cameraman number 2, Jason Yago, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu one world purple belt in the house. What's up, Jason?
Hey, what's up?
Man, we're just coming off of a pretty good fight weekend with EBI 10, and we had Mighty Mouse on FS1.
Tough finale. I just read this. It, I think, peaked for tough finales on Fox Sports 1.
That sounds like a very select group.
It was good.
Million,
it had good ratings.
A million? You had a million people watching?
I think it did.
Wow.
I think it had the ratings equivalent of 1 million people.
So people are actually watching Mighty Mouse, or are they watching Tough?
I don't know, but I'm glad that, because that was a really good season. That was a freaking great season.
So I did not keep up with the season, but I did watch the main event.
Yeah.
And that first round was absolutely insane.
That, like, Elliot went in there with, like, he just went in there to get him.
So I think it was plus 1,600, right? Or minus 1,600 for Mighty Mouse, something like that.
Yeah, the betting lines were really stupid.
They were really stupid because Mighty Mouse doesn't lose. I think he's on a 9-fight win streak right now. Is it 8 or 9?
I believe he has 9 title defenses now with that one. So he's one more from tying Anderson Silva.
Well, he's the inaugural champion in his division. There hasn't been another one. It's just him.
Yep.
So he's fought Dodson already twice. And this last title defense was, I think it was his hardest fight or his most competitive fight since that last Dodson fight.
I think so. I mean, his last fight was against Cejudo, and that was a first round TKO.
And there were, big things, sort of expected in that last fight. He had that cool haircut, right? He had the hairline. Like, he had that really low hairline.
Wait.
The wrestler guy. Cejudo, he's the Olympic level wrestler.
Oh, Cejudo, yes.
Yeah, so he had a cool haircut. I remember that.
Yeah, nice.
But he got taken apart pretty quickly in that. I think it was first or second round.
First round, I'd say, I think was Cejudo's, but Benavidez definitely took over. But Cejudo also got the point penalty for groin shots.
Oh, that's right.
Two of them.
Benavidez. Talking about Johnson. Where are you?
Oh, where am I?
You just group these fighters. I feel like you're discriminating against the fighters that are under like 170 pounds like everybody else.
I thought you were talking about the co-main.
Jason, are you a sizist?
I'm tiny.
So that means you can do that?
I can do that.
Wow.
That's my thing. No, sorry. I was thinking about the co-main, not Cejudo versus Mighty Mouse. Yeah.
So, man, that Darce, right? There was a Darce.
That looked good. That looked really good, but Mighty Mouse he threw the thumbs up, even though that's not a submission defense, but showing the ref, don't stop it.
Well, he didn't go to sleep and he didn't tap. So yeah. I have feelings about that Darce. I feel because he's a longer guy, he was able to get the head and arm inside and he was able to close it, but it looked like he was just using his arms to choke him. And if you aren't an avid practitioner of any of these grappling or submission arts, when I say that he just tried to use his arms to choke him, it isn't... You can tell the difference between the rear naked choke or Darce or arm in guillotine or guillotine between, different level people. So if you have a white belt, a blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt, you feel that rear naked choke from a white belt, it's all arms. But then you get an experienced purple, brown, or black belt, and all of a sudden it's a full body thing. You can feel the hips tightening. You can feel the rib cage. You can feel how the back comes into it. You can feel how the elbows going to. It's a full body move. So it looks like he was in front of him. His hips were square, right? Yeah. So we had him broken down. I think in turtle, he was above him, and he had the choke wrapped on him. But it looked like he just sort of had long arms. He was just trying to squeeze it that way. Whereas with the Darce, you really want to kind of tip the guy over, and you want to bring that chin to chest. You want to squeeze the elbows together. You want to use the hips. You want to use your back. You want to use your full body to really finish that choke.
Yeah, that one's pretty tough. But I mean, Tim, he's pretty tall for the division.
He's a big guy.
Big guy for flyweight.
But he took it right to him.
Oh, 100%.
He took it right to him. He made that fight competitive when those betting odds would probably lead you to believe that it's not going to be competitive at all.
I mean, first round, he kept coming in, going for strikes, going for submission attempts. But I think, 1 through 5, or sorry, 2 through 5 were kind of more of the same, with Tim getting in there going for something, Mighty Mouse passing to north-south, and they gained the side control, and Tim doing an amazing job defending everything.
Yeah.
He defended everything, but I mean, that's what happened.
There were a couple really great exchanges during the fight where it was just very dynamic movement. It was a scramble, but it wasn't. There were, submission attempts. I think there was an armbar attempt where there was nothing there. It was just, they were all over the place. It was a really cool fight to watch. Obviously, Mighty Mouse picks up the W, but seeing him in a competitive fight, seeing a guy just bring it to the champion, not be freaked out on the stage, being live on Fox is pretty amazing. Like, hats off to what's his name again?
Tim Elliott.
Thank you, Tim Elliott. I didn't follow the season. It's on so much.
It does on so much.
There's so many fights on now. There's so many guys in the UFC.
I've got stuff backlog, but I hope they keep to the formula with this like champion from different organizations formula, because it's kind of fun to see like the whole like, wow, bringing in these young guys. It's all drama and stuff. Young guys are girls, but it's kind of also good to see really good fights. Like every fight that I'd seen on this season has been a really good fight.
So the earlier seasons of Ultimate Fighter, you just kind of had personalities, right? You had people from, just really good college wrestlers or guys with, 0-0 records and stuff. But now you're bringing in guys that have been proven already to fight in front of people, to proven as, commodities, at least in their regions, right? They're winning regional titles. They're coming out and now they're competing on a much larger stage. So it's going to make for more compelling TV when you're going to have more competitive fights. You're not going to see those jitters. You're going to see people that are they're already pros. They're already professional. They already know how to carry themselves. They're going to make weight, right? They know how to perform in front of an audience. They've already been through that. So at least for the fight side of it, you're going to get a more compelling sort of show. Personality wise, and living in a house together, you never know. It's a bunch of fighters, so you're still going to have a shit show there. But
yeah, I mean, like, but when you look at it though, from when Tough started, I mean, I don't even remember what year started. Early 2000s.
I want to say 07 or something. Was it 07? Would it have been 07?
Yeah, I don't recall. But I mean, just now now is when they can actually do that. When they have all these regional promotions that they can pull talent from and all that. So like, you couldn't have done that, but at Tough One, like they pulled in who they could pull in. I think these were the fighters. And they're good fighters, but like now there's more depth and there's more organizations out there to give people experience.
Yeah, Tough One compared to now is a totally different thing. I mean, you had Bobby Southworth on Team Lydell. He got the first knockout over Ludin Sincade, right? Then you had Swick. You had Chris Lieben. You had Josh Koscheck. You had a lot of really great fighters.
I think the crazy one was Kenny Florian. I mean, just because when I saw him, he was already fighting Jose Aldo. Like, when I went back and watched Tough One, I was like, that's Kenny Florian? That's ridiculous.
So that was, 2005, right? So Tough One was 2005.
I think so. And the fact that Diego's still fighting, I mean, oh man, he's crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's a pretty known thing, that Diego Sanchez is pretty far out there.
Like his last fight against that Polish grappler was, he had this ridiculous escape where he just ran up the fence. He just did not care.
The Polish grappler. I feel like that should be a nickname.
It may be.
It could be.
It's I don't remember his last name. It's Marcin something.
You know what my favorite MMA nickname of all time is?
What is it?
Douche Boy. There's a guy named, the nickname is Douche Boy. He's fighting on that. It's a Philippines-based MMA promotion. It's the first big Philippine MMA promotion. The fights are here in California, and Anthony Doe.
Ant Doe. That's my favorite
Ant
MMA
Doe
nickname.
He's fighting a guy whose nickname is Douche Boy. That's a real thing. Did you see it?
I saw that. I believe. I want to know where that came from. I mean, maybe it was some like translation thing.
And yeah, I was gonna say, is that lost in translation? Because here, I don't know about Ilocano or Tagalog, but here, douche is a bad thing. Well, I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, maybe. I guess it's down to application. But in terms of a nickname, if I was going out there and I'm thinking I'm going to be a professional MMA fighter, what's my nickname going to be? And you'd say anything but Douche Boy, and we'd still be friends.
Anything.
We'd still be really good friends.
Anything but Douche Boy.
Yeah. What's worse? Is Douche Boy or Fuck Boy worse?
I'd still rather be a fuck boy over a douche boy.
I think so. I think that probably being a douche, like that's a great way to just sort of just get the post-fight jitters out of the way. What could he possibly call me before, leading up to this fight? And you just get all the horrible things out of the way with your nickname. It's like, you're not going to faze me. I'm douche boy.
If you had McGregor coming up on the other side, what is he going to say? You're already there. I don't know.
He'd be like, November 26th. Yeah, we're doing this because it's a thing that we're doing. And man, you should change your name. That's just weird. I don't know what else to say. So a couple guys from the gym competed over the weekend, and I've got some theories. I've got some feelings about jiu-jitsu competition. A couple things happened.
Yeah. So what happened down there?
There were some pretty cool super fights. Jeremy Jackson went up against Nick Green, which for Bay Area brown belts, it's kind of la creme de la creme in terms of non-Brazilian brown belts, right? So Jeremy picked up the W over Nick, who's been around a very long time. He was a blue belt a long time, a pearl belt a long time. Now he's a brown belt kind of a long time too. So Jeremy Jackson got the win. Very dynamic guy. He's all over the place. Very technical. He also won his Fight to Win Pro 8 event in San Francisco via pretty sick armbar submission. On top of that, you had Dan Camarillo against, I think it's 3-time Masters no-gi world champion. I think he's Masters world champion too, John Barsatti. So Dan Camarillo, the arm hunter, against John Barsatti. Okay. John's a very large guy. He's like catch wrestler, I think. Ooh. 2 black belts. And the match started out, some grip fighting. I think a failed throw or a failed shot attempt, and then ankle pick by John Barsatti to guard pass to straight arm kind of shoulder lock from the mount. So John Barsatti over Dan Camarillo via submission within a few minutes. And that was one of the black belt super fights over at the Guerrilla Jiu-Jitsu Grand Prix in Pleasanton this weekend. So Dan, to everyone out there, I mean, if you're a jiu-jitsu guy, you know who the Camarillos are. If you know Dave and Dan, the arm hunter is pretty legendary in terms of his judo jiu-jitsu skill. He's Camarillo Guerrilla Jiu-Jitsu guy. We've known him for a long time, and sort of it was an amazing performance by John. He's a much bigger guy. He's a big, strong guy, but he's been on a tear lately. So, yeah, it was a pretty decisive victory.
Nice. So what about our guys out there?
Our guys, they did good. Stang, he pulled guard against a larger guy. So someone, I want to say like closer to 6 foot. I couldn't tell you the weight, maybe like a middleweight, say a buck 80, buck 85 or something like that. He pulled guard and the guy stood up, and Stang immediately threw a triangle, and I'm just screaming at this point. So it's really cool. But if you see the video, he winds up finishing it wasn't a flying triangle, but he basically pulled guard. The guy stood up and he wore him on his shoulder and neck. So Stang won his first match via triangle. And the rest of the guys did well. We had some white belts competing for the first time that have under a year experience. They come to the Jiu-Jitsu fundamentals class at AK Sunnyvale. The biggest thing is it was kind of a big icebreaker for them. They didn't know what to expect. They really didn't know the rules. And they just kind of wanted to go out there and give it a try. And they went from just it sort of being unknown to now they have specific things to work on, right? As white belts, there's just the jitters, right? When in half guard, knowing to get your knee shield up, knowing to get off of your back, right? Not to get flattened out, knowing to break grips, protect your neck, that sort of thing. Choke defenses. So I think one of the guys got caught in a bow and arrow choke and didn't know a bow and arrow choke defense, and just things you have to drill. But more than anything, just knowing that you go out there and you compete, and no matter what happens, you have something to work on Monday. Unless you're just spectacular at white belt and just going to kill everyone, you probably have something specific to work on that Monday when you go back to class. But it's almost when you get promoted, you have purpose on Monday. You're like, man, I gotta wear this belt. I have to feel like I fill it out. You know what I mean? You have to put in that extra work to be like, man, I gotta hang with the other purples, the other brown belts, the other black belts now. When you compete, you kind of you have that same type of motivation, except it's, man, I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I got to fix this. Okay. This went wrong. Cause you could do all this stuff in drilling and just arm bar over and over. But when you actually do it under pressure, you're like, oh, so that happened. Right. So it's just being able to look at yourself honestly, evaluate yourself and say, okay, well, this went well, but this other stuff, like I need to work this, right? So I feel the competition does that. It allows you to sort of reflect honestly, look at yourself honestly in the mirror and say, you know, these are holes in my game and I need to fill them if I'm going to really get better. So a lot of guys, they just don't, right? They just do the same stuff. They get a workout in. They're getting that out of jiu-jitsu. They're getting, you know, they're getting in better shape. They're getting better cardio. They're looking better. They're learning a skill. But when you put yourself under pressure and just see how you react in a match situation when people are watching, and in terms of how you react under pressure, in terms of like a self-defense type thing, like a conflict, like someone's trying to fight you or something like that, you'll know yourself a little bit better when you're done. If anything else, even if somebody doesn't decide to just compete all the time and just, they don't want to be a world champion, at least you know that how you respond to that pressure, how you do fight or flight type deal, and you can train that, right? So I think, I'm not one of these guys like, oh, you have to compete, but I think that you learn a lot about yourself by doing it, and it's valuable.
Yeah, I remember. I think what you said earlier about how white belts looked. I think that was exactly how my first competitive experience went. Like, I think Gorilla Grand Prix maybe like 3 years ago. I don't remember, 2 or 3 years ago. It was exactly that. I read the rules before and all that. Looked up stuff. Went in there. Got pretty confused immediately, and then I got stuck in a position. Yeah. My position was easy. I got stuck sitting in somebody's guard, and I thought I was so far behind that I just had to tap him. So I'm doing stupid things, like I'm trying to tap him from guard. I think I tried to throw an Ezekiel from guard. It was fantastic.
I think I remember that.
It's pretty terrible.
I remember that.
But so I can sympathize with them on that part. But yeah, it does kind of help, because it's like, well, did what you did do work? Oh, it didn't? Or did it? Great. I mean, it tells you.
Well, they say growth happens the minute you put something under pressure, right? You leave your comfort zone. That's when growth happens. So by going out there and just seeing where you are, just you versus you a year ago, or you versus you a month ago, right? You're able to look at yourself honestly, watch the video, right? And say, okay, these things went well, these things didn't, right? Your matches aren't usually a highlight reel of what you're capable of, but seeing what your go-to positions are, seeing what your path was. So when you, in any of these matches, the way they're grading them or scoring them or looking at them, it should be a progression, right? From start to finish. Yeah. The entire, like, that's how it's scored, right? Everything should be constant progression. Like, you should always be trying to improve position towards finishing the fight. It's a fight, right? That's how it's scored. But so being able to sort of have a plan and not just going, like, you get guys and they'll sign up at the last minute and they don't tell anyone. And it's almost like a built-in excuse. It's almost like, I didn't really train for this anyway. So if I do well, it's like, I didn't even train for this old thing. I didn't even train for it. But then if you lose, it's like, man, I didn't really train for it. I just wanted to get out there and do it. It's a built-in excuse, right? It's just fear doing its thing. It's, you want to do it, but like, kinda, you're half in. You can't be half pregnant with this stuff.
I mean, like, go in, I don't know if it's easy to say this, but go give it your best, and then, you catch somebody better than you. That happens. I mean, you could keep going up. Is your name Meow? Are you Kyotera? Are you freaking Bushesha? It's like, well, no. And then, like, well, okay, if you keep going up higher, you're gonna get caught at some point. So just go out and just see where you're at. Yeah,
I feel like the more you do it, the better you'll get. And in the gym and in competition too. Some divisions are just deep, right? But if you train more and you compete more, you get better. The guys that compete they get better faster than the guys that don't. It's just because you're putting yourself into these stressful situations where you're forced to grow pretty rapidly, right? You're going against people your size or your skill or your age and your weight and all that stuff. And by putting yourself under pressure, you're taking the fear element out of it. You're desensitizing yourself essentially. So you do go in the gym, you're like, yeah, this guy, whatever. Because you've already done this. You've done it in front of a big group of people. There's cameras, there's all your friends, your family, they're watching. And you lose a couple matches in front of people you care about. And it's like, this whole thing. Like you don't care anymore, right? Take the ego out of it. You can actually evaluate yourself honestly.
Yeah, I mean, going out there on the mat, that's when the pressure comes in. If you're able to do it under pressure, then you go to train. To me, it's just easy. It's like I guess the golf analogy I'd say, it's like the driving range versus the course. You can do great at the driving range. You get on the course, that's where it counts.
Yeah, you got a lot of guys that are just stars in the gym, but then they go out to compete and they do something else, or vice versa, right? They're just, the weekend warrior, but then they go to the actual tournament and they're nice. They're trying to be technical instead of just, but then in the gym, they're savages. Like, what are you doing? These are your friends. But this is a stranger. You shook his hand 4 times. Choke him, damn it. Anyway, I think it's good. Everybody should do it at least once. But it's definitely good at white belt. You get a better idea of what jiu-jitsu is.
Yeah, and just seeing it too. Seeing a bunch of, I don't know, so being in the environment and being the experience of seeing competitions and stuff is cool to see.
It's funny too, because if you look at what we do in the gym, everything in the gym submission only. But then the point system, that only happens in competition. And most people don't drill the point system, but they do point-based matches all the time. So when you're preparing for these matches, you really have to have practice matches. You should know the rules.
Oh yeah, you got to have that. I mean, it just seems like just getting used to that, going with the, holding position 3 seconds, or not less 3 seconds, holding the position till you get your points.
Yeah, because it doesn't necessarily it's not your 3 seconds, right? It's you have to have established a position dominantly for that amount of time. And sometimes you think you're getting points, but you're not, right?
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that there's no points for side control, for example. There's none. Yeah. You wind up passing the guard. Okay, that's one thing, but a reversal, for example, like Upa, like bump escape, like bump a bump and roll, you don't get points for that. There's none. That's not a sweep. It's a reversal, right? You have to go from being like in a guard to being like on top, right? So they're in your guard and then you're on top, right? Yeah. They have to be in your guard. Then once you sweep them, and then you're on top in a control position. If you sweep them and they roll you back over, you might get an advantage, for example. But this is all things you have to learn. You have to learn how the advantages work, how the fouls work, how the points work, how stalling works, right?
Yeah.
But it's just, that's how that type of system works. If you're going to do EBI or a tournament that uses EBI rules, you have to know how that works, right? Because there's people that they know the rules and they're going to game them accordingly.
Yeah, speaking of EBI, I think there was a little tournament maybe
EBI
this
10.
Past weekend. Maybe that past Friday.
Oh man, I got to watch only a few matches. The one that I was more excited about, so that was in Mexico City, I think.
Yep.
EBI 10. There's a legend there named Barrett Yoshida. He's been a black belt. I think they said something like 20 years now, but he actually went up against a friend of mine in the first round, Eric Medina from Jean-Jacques Machado and Tarzana, so Los Angeles, right?
Nice.
This match was incredibly competitive. I didn't know what to expect, as I don't know what it's like to roll with Barrett Yoshida. I do know what it's like to roll with Eric, who's a tough purple belt. I mean, this guy's super technical. You roll with him and you're wondering, like, well, how are you a purple belt? Because he's really, really good. He's a smaller guy, but he's really technical. He's really aggressive. He's game, right? He's ready to fight you. He runs that Los Angeles Jiu-Jitsu Club, LA Jiu-Jitsu Club.
Okay.
It's a fighter house bed and breakfast thing, but it's like an Airbnb, but a jiu-jitsu Airbnb. So they got a float tank, they got a pool, a hot tub, yoga, jiu-jitsu, and you stay there. Like you rent it like a hotel, and there's like 7 a.m. class. Seriously, they have full blown open mat jiu-jitsu classes. I think almost every day. So it's a pretty cool setup.
Nice.
So he's one of Jean-Jacques Machado's sort of competitive purple belts over there, and he went down to Mexico City. This is his third EBI. I think he competed in 1 and 2 or 2 and 3 or something like that also. But it was a really competitive match. The first round, it went to a draw, went to overtime. I think he swept him once or something like that, but he was defending leg locks left and right. Like these guys were going back and forth. It was competitive, right? So for this purple belt kid to go against Barrett Yoshida, who's super game. So I think he's like ADCC champion previously, at least silver medalist in the past. Like this guy's somebody, you know.
Yeah,
he's a legend. And then for in the first sort of overtime round, they start from the back position, right? With harness. So he was able to get the rear naked choke on Eric within a minute or something like that. But then what happens? They switch, right? The overtime. So you have the ability to now you get the back position, but you have to finish the move faster, right? So,
yep.
So then Eric gets his back and transitions immediately into spiderweb to the armbar, and immediately transitions from the armbar setup, like just he's sitting in cross body top, like trying to pull an armbar. He makes enough space and baits it. He changes it into a head and arm choke and goes belly down.
Ooh.
It was cool. So he's sitting there. He has the harness. He transitions to an armbar. He's like this, right? And then he gets around the head and comes in, and then he goes belly down, and the time runs out. And he has Barrett Yoshida and a head and arm choke, like an arm triangle from the top. First of all, I'm stealing that because it was cool. I'm gonna rewatch that again, but yeah, he winds up losing because he didn't get the tap in adequate amount of time in the first overtime round.
Yeah.
But he was super game. The guy should be super proud of it, and like it was really cool to watch, to see him compete at this level and really bring it to him. So
yeah, I didn't catch this last EBI, but I heard a lot of the opening round matches, a lot of quick leg locks.
Yes,
really quick.
Yeah. Who was I think Gio Martinez was in this one.
Yep. I think the two, I know the finalists, what was it? Gio Martinez and Eddie Cummings from Renzo's.
Yeah. That guy's pretty slick. Actually, both are. I think he's champion in 2 different divisions there, isn't he?
I think so. I think I recall hearing that.
All right. So he's another one of the breakdancer guys over there. There's a couple of B-boys over there. We have one at our gym now.
Oh yeah.
So it's funny. Cameron, he competed at the Gorilla Jiu-Jitsu Grand Prix this weekend. He's actually a breakdancer from back in the day he knows all these guys. Damn. So he knows Nick Green. He knows the Martinez brothers. He knows Christina, because she was also a breakdancer back in the day too.
Yeah, I remember that from the podcast.
They're all sort of that B-boy community from way back. So they have their pictures of them doing their stuff back in the day, and it's funny.
Nice.
It looks exactly how you think 90s B-boy would look.
That is such an awesome time. Such an awesome time. I'm not saying that sarcastically, in case that's not getting across. It was an awesome time.
Were you a break dancer too?
I was not.
You're not a break.
But that was just awesome. I appreciate that time back then.
I was also not a break dancer, but I could see how it's applicable, being able to move all kind of dynamically. I'm wondering if we're gonna get any kind of like parkour people in jiu-jitsu. It's like, see how they do. They like climb up the wall and go for arm bars and stuff. I don't know, man.
Do the Showtime armbar.
The Showtime armbar. What was the other one? There's parkour, and then we actually had a Cirque du Soleil performer in jiu-jitsu for a little bit.
Oh yeah,
at AKA, yeah. She just dropped in for once or twice. She worked for Cirque du Soleil.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I believe they'd be really good.
She was good at forward and backward roll. I don't know how experienced she was at jiu-jitsu, but some of the girls brought her in, and she was like literally one of those aerialists from Cirque du Soleil.
Dang. Like, I think that a person with that background would be a little better, not maybe a little better, but that background would be more suited than like parkour. Parkour to me, I don't know. I don't know how well it transitions over. Like breakdancing. Breakdancing to me just, oh yeah, way over.
Oh, I was kidding. I just kept thinking of what is it called? The Office, when they were doing parkour in the office. They were yelling, hardcore, parkour, and he ran and falls in the dumpster.
Yeah, they jumps up. Oh,
just
now you're messing with me.
So we had Mighty Mouse over the weekend.
Yeah.
Man, last week was cool. I got to meet the creator of the UFC, which is crazy.
Oh yeah, last podcast, Art Davies.
So if that guy didn't do what he did, like, we wouldn't do any of this stuff. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's crazy. I
All
think
of it.
Yeah, especially hearing how he was talking about that that they're we'll just do our ads in Black Belt magazine. Don't worry about it. We got this. Like he brought in that business side, and that's what it takes to grow something.
So he basically, what he was saying was, he was selling these direct mail campaigns, right? So it was, BMG. Remember Columbia House, where you'd get 10 CDs for a penny or something?
That's fantastic.
You just paid shipping, and then they would send you one every month, and you'd be signed up for 2 years or something.
Yeah.
Everybody pissed their parents off with those CDs.
I did too.
I think I signed us up for both of them. I had BMG and Columbia House. I got the Woodstock 94 soundtrack, and I remember my mom was so mad at me. So mad. But yeah, so all those direct mail order campaigns like Visa and stuff, he goes over to the Gracies and said, look, I'm going to sell your videos on there, the old school ones of Hickson and, kicking somebody's ass on the beach and showing, VHS tapes basically of the original cross collar choke and arm bar and
Nice.
all the self-defense stuff, right? And basically, he just did it for free. He charged him just the printing costs, and he said it was a $10,000 or $20,000 campaign. And all of a sudden, after a couple of weeks, he made him $150,000 off of these VHS tapes, and
yeah, you definitely get somebody's attention when you pull that out.
So this guy just hustling, just this ex-Marine guy from Brooklyn, going to the Gracie Academy and saying, we're gonna make this world's best fighter thing. That's just that all of what we do now, all American Jiu-Jitsu, MMA, all of that is totally contingent on one salesman. Isn't that crazy? All of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, when you think about it, it's like, well, something should have came in that vacuum, and you're like, not really.
No, the trajectory of my life was directly impacted by my last two guests on the show. So it was Art Davey, and 1 week earlier, so the guy that created the UFC is Art Davey. 1 week before that, it was Royce Gracie, the first UFC champion.
Yeah.
Right? And that was the first mainstream exposure to the UFC, to mixed martial arts, to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, most importantly for us in America at all. And I mean, unless you were like a hardcore martial artist at the time, you probably weren't aware of it and couldn't get near it, right? So there was only a couple places where you'd find Jiu-Jitsu in the United States, with an American teacher at all.
Oh yeah, I feel terrible because I think it was only within the last 4 years that I actually learned that Black Belt magazine exists.
Oh really?
That was a confessional.
So I had it back in the day. It's kind of funny. My Taekwondo instructor, I was at the Kumsung in New Jersey, and our grandmaster dude was in the first Ninja Turtles movie.
Nice.
So we had Black Belt magazine because he signed them for us and stuff.
Man, I feel like I should just go get a subscription now, just to say, yeah, I got it.
They sell it at Safeway down the corner, and they actually sell Jiu-Jitsu magazine there too.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, every once in a while. I was just in Safeway one time, and I saw like Kyotera on the cover, and the last one was the guy that he was on the cover of the one that was on the U.S. Open, and he's signing them. This guy was autographing the Jiu-Jitsu magazines at the U.S. Open. And
nice.
It's weird, Jiu-Jitsu autographs. What the hell is that?
It's coming up now.
There's
a little bit.
There's an IBJJF gi. So UNICEF worked with IBJJF, International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation, right, on some charity project, and they got all the guys, all the Hall of Famers in IBJJF to sign this gi, and I think they're selling it for charity. So it's got Buchecha, Gabby Garcia, like a bunch of signatures on there.
Nice.
But it's weird that these are valuable to people.
Yeah. I mean, you get people doing it. You get people who train. I mean, you get a lot of people who train around here. We're doing it as a hobby, but we got jobs too. But this is something we like, and hey,
yeah, it's just weird the autograph thing, because a lot of these people that are signing this thing, I know that we know these people. We see them all the time, and they're signing autographs, and it's weird.
I think, we got to take a step back because, like, again, Bay Area, we're in a bubble here. We've got a lot of jiu-jitsu practitioners.
Yeah, between here, Los Angeles, and San Diego, I think it's the biggest concentration of just really great jiu-jitsu people. You go to New York, and there's going to be a lot of really great guys there too.
Oh yeah, it's probably those 3 places you just listed, and then New York.
Yeah, there's other places as well, but in terms of just concentration of just studs, right? Oh, and then Florida.
Yeah, you got the guys down there too.
You have a huge population of Brazilians living there, like Coconut Creek or something like that.
Yep, that's where.
Miami Beach is going to be a lot of really great, gyms there. American top team, Brazilian top team.
Like, I don't get the New York part though, because all those other 4 you listed, they're nice and sunny. They've got temperatures similar to Brazil, but you get New York, that place is cold.
It's cold, but it's New York, right?
That is true. It is New York. New York's iconic for the whole world.
It's money.
Money.
It's money. It's a huge city. There's a demand, right? And think of the clientele you can have.
Oh yeah.
If you're a top end instructor down there, think of all the Wall Street people, there's actors, there's the comics, there's just big time lawyers, business, like it's the epicenter of everything. It's the capital of the world.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna have the best of the best out there. That's why Henzo's there. You got Anthony Bourdain chilling over at that gym, and
I always see Anthony Bourdain repping Henzo Gracie Academy.
Yeah,
I think I just saw his Hawaii episode last week. And like every cut, it's like a different Henzo Gracie shirt. Like, that's awesome. He's got a different one. Has the Hayabusa rash guard. I was like, nice.
The industry's changed for sure. It's crazy. I'm sitting, like, just last week, I'm sitting there talking to the creator of the UFC, and we're telling our best Eddie Bravo story about the last time we saw Eddie Bravo. We're talking about the last time we saw Henner Gracie. And it's just a trip. Just that it's such a small world that you have like all these random like contacts and friends in common and stuff. And he was telling me that he saw Henner Gracie. He used to have him come into his office, and he'd ask him like a million questions about how business and marketing works. And it's it's not ironic to see that Henner's he's kind of like the mogul, the young mogul of the family now. He's this awesome marketer, and you spend 5 minutes with him, and you're like, damn. Yeah, that's how this guy. He's on.
It makes sense from what I was like, heard from the podcast last time, and then just kind of going and how he's getting jiu-jitsu out there, because he's getting jiu-jitsu out there, but then he's also marketing as if he's making money, and he's making his presence bigger.
I'll tell you what,
he's making jiu-jitsu out there, so it's like, yeah.
The way he talks about it, there's a level of excitement, and you can tell he just believes in what he's doing. He's stoked about it, right? So you want to be stoked about it.
Oh yeah.
He's really good. Like, even when he's not on camera, the way he talks about things, just people he knows, just casually, he's just very, very charismatic, but he's sold. And then that confidence that this guy's, you're like, where's that Kool-Aid at? Like, where is it? You know what I mean? Like, so people buying the shirts and all this stuff. I mean,
he gets that energy, and it's like, yeah, let's do that.
Whatever you want, let's go.
Whatever you're selling, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, that's awesome. Let's do that.
Yeah, he's got all these people eating vegetables and kale and acai with whatever else in the damn Vitamix, right? Remember the bowls?
These are all good things.
They're tremendous. He told
awesome.
us. He told us they were. Confidence sells. It goes far. You have some loud, charismatic figure, and you're like, yeah, because whatever he just said, because fuck it, right? And luckily, he's telling us to do healthy things like strangle our friends and wear pajamas in public.
And eat vegetables.
The vegetable thing, at least, is good. I feel like the vegetable thing is a good step forward. And I had someone message me on Instagram, and it was the text message was, "Hey, are you a vegan too?" And I responded, and I was just in a hurry, and I said, "No, not at all." And I think they got mad at me. It was a stranger. That was their way they messaged me on Instagram. They had a new DM request from someone, and the first thing they asked me if I was a vegan, and I was no, not at all, and they got mad at me.
That seems like an odd thing to start off with. I don't know why.
Are there a lot of them? I mean,
I think there's probably a lot of vegans, but maybe again, my judgment's being clouded because we're in the Bay Area.
But it just seemed very odd to say, are you a vegan too? And my response was, well, no, I don't understand the question, but no. There's lots of other things you could talk about though. Like what do you consume? Like I didn't talk about, going to the bathroom or anything. Like I don't even know you. And the first message was, are you a vegan? No, not a vegan. I'm not mad that, it's fine.
Yeah,
you can eat whatever you want.
Exactly.
I keep vegetables in the house. You're welcome to eat the vegetables in my house. I'm not going to not eat them because of anything. I don't know. It was just not a question. I get a lot of kind of odd ones. But I at any given time have a bunch of the message requests in Instagram? Have you seen this?
I've just started using that.
I didn't know this was a thing. So if your friends want to instant message you on there, they can. But if you don't know them, there's this feed, because there's a little green light on my Instagram and I didn't know what it was. And I'm clicking around and I finally see this thing and it says message requests. And I go in there and there's some weird stuff.
Oh, it like groups all people that aren't already like following friends or whatever.
Like Facebook has message requests.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Okay.
And it's just as hard to find on Instagram, right? And I found it, and some of the things were not in English, but there's a translate little gimmick right there. There's a button, but I get weird requests. I get some things that I don't want to talk about on here, really. But
we don't talk about.
No, I got some weird ones, some really weird ones. I got some really nice ones. There's some really complimentary stuff. I got a lot of people like wanting me to promote their stuff, which is weird because I just don't do it. I don't even know what their businesses were. People wanted me to like promote their profiles and stuff. It's weird. It's really weird. I'm not used to any of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I learned this from Silicon Valley, the television series. Like, I mean, why don't they just go to those sites where they just stuff promotes you? You get all those bots or whatever. And
I don't know. It's just they're.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like English is a second language, and sometimes they don't send the messages in English. These are the non-creepy ones. I got creepy ones.
Nice.
I really creepy ones. I had one on Facebook. I had one guy add me on Facebook, and his thing was he wanted me to choke him because he enjoyed like he wanted, yeah.
So like a David Carradine kind of thing.
I don't know what that is.
Don't worry about that. I'll tell you when you're older.
I'm not. Oh, like erotic asphyxiation thing. Like, is that what it's called?
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Auto. Yeah. Well, no. That's if you do. Auto is if you do it yourself, right?
Oh, sorry. Yes, you're actually right. This would be different.
Yeah, that's what I think he was asking for, and I'm like, where's the block thing? And he kept making these little smiley faces, but they were like the sad ones, and it was creepy.
So then to correct it, not a David Carradine thing.
Okay, no, these aren't choking myself. This is a person interested in procuring the service
of someone else to choke them.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not what we do at all.
Yeah, that's. I think a lot of people when they start or when they just see it, like if you're not used to coming from a grappling art, like the first thing you see when people are getting close contact, you're like, oh. Ew, that's gross. But like I can remember the wrestling part and it's like that's just what you do. Like I wore like a singlet. That's even less than a gi.
Yeah. Yeah, our instructor said we couldn't wear those. I was down to wear them for no gi. I wear spats with a rash guard, and we're supposed to wear shorts on top of the spats, which I'm against. Mike should be able to wear spats if we want to wear spats.
I just want to cover my skin.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about the gi. I don't have to be touched by you or anyone else, man. It's just I didn't think I had any sort of OCD at all, and then I started doing jiu-jitsu, and I realized that people are gross. The skin on skin, and I have never had a staph infection.
I've never had staph either. I thank God that hasn't happened.
Right? I'm pretty excited about that. I mean, I'm pretty hygienic. I'm pretty neurotic when it comes to making sure to, you know, shower often before and after training. You should do that.
Yes. And wash your gi.
Oh, absolutely. And the belt. You wash your belt, right?
I do.
Thank you.
I don't wash it every load, but I wash it.
Yeah, I just have an extra belt.
Yeah, I think I need to get another one too. I've only got my one.
Yeah, I want to make sure that my stuff's always clean. So, and the belt I got from Mike, this last one. So when I got my black belt, it was a little bit long. It was actually a lot long. So I'm washing it and drying it hot for months now, just trying to get it to where it fits me almost. And so if I gain 25 more pounds, this thing's gonna fit like a charm. But it was almost like a Kayukishin, like a really long old school martial arts black belt to begin with.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, now it's almost the right size. It's like an A4 now.
Mine fit me perfectly.
No, that's
good for me.
That's lovely, Jason.
I know. It's pretty great.
Tell us more about how perfect your belt is.
Well, yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
So what else happened last week? Anything big? Anything new?
What did we cover? We covered UFC. We covered EBI. We covered our Gorilla Comp.
You went to Singapore.
I did.
Was it cool?
Dude, it was awesome.
Was it fun?
It was humid as fuck.
Singapore is so humid.
And then all the buildings had crazy AC.
Yeah.
And I guess applicable things. I went out there. I trained at Evolve MMA.
Did you see Michelle?
I didn't see Michelle. And then to let RJ know, I didn't see Angela Lee either.
Oh, so
it was cool. I mean, the instructor I trained out there, Alex Silva, really good guy, fights in ONE FC.
So a friend of mine, Benji, used to train out there. He's a Singaporean dude.
Oh yeah,
I think he still does. He's a purple belt.
I trained with a Singaporean that was a purple belt.
Bigger dude.
He was bigger. He was really fucking strong. Like I got to north-south. I went for my north-south choke, and he's just like, I don't think so. I'm gonna squeeze the shit out of you, and then he squeezed the shit out of me. He was an older guy though. The guy I trained with, I'd say probably 40s or 50s. So maybe a little older.
Yeah, no, this dude was normal age.
I'm gonna have to slip on my glasses if you're gonna show me something.
This guy had less years.
Oh, then I'm gonna say it probably wasn't him.
So yeah, I've been seeing. So yeah, Michelle Nicolini's out there now full time.
Yeah.
So she's fighting for ONE FC, right? And then she's training. Actually, who just went out there? Cupcake. What's her name?
Misha Tate.
Misha Tate's there now.
I saw when I was there, they had a little promo for it, and I actually know. I was like, well, yeah, she'll still probably go out there because this was right after she announced her retirement. When I saw the thing, and I'm like, I wonder if she's still going to go out there. But you know, it's a gig. It's not fighting. She's tough as hell, and I'm sure she's got something to show.
So how in tune with the MMA or UFC rumor mill are you usually?
Okay.
So have you heard anything about the 145 Holly Holm Cyborg potential matchup?
I heard that was offered on Dana White brought that up on Unfiltered.
Okay. Can you shed a little light on that? Where is that a thing? Is it going to happen?
So not the Holly Holm. I think from what I heard is that she wanted to go 138. She didn't want to do 145, which I get. She can make, I on one sense I get that all these women can make 135. Why would they go up?
Because Cyborg's big.
She is big, but
she's big.
I mean, and this is me going off the cuff. I don't remember what her televised card did, because it's like, man, if you're a heavyweight, fuck yeah, you go fight Conor McGregor. Or if you're a flyweight, you fight Conor McGregor, because Conor McGregor is bringing a ton of money.
Yep.
But like, I don't remember if that's the same for Cyborg. I just don't. I don't know.
Well, her two matches, one was a fight night Brazil, and the other was a pay-per-view in Brazil. She's gonna do the numbers in Brazil for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, the big fight really is her against Ronda, right?
Yeah, that's because that one's been building up for so long. But I almost think that because it's been building up for so long, it's going to be like a Mayweather Pacquiao thing, and then people are just going to be unhappy with it, or the fight could just suck. I don't know.
It in their prime, it had the potential to be awesome. Following a Ronda Rousey loss, following sort of, well, I mean, Chris has done really well.
Dude, Chris is great. She's been doing amazing.
Yeah, I still think that's the fight you make. Whether you go right for that fight or you beat around the bush a little bit longer, but I don't know how much longer Ronda really wants to fight.
Yeah.
She has the Amanda Nunes title fight coming up very soon, end of the year.
And Amanda's tough.
Amanda's very tough. Amanda's very game, and that could go a lot of different ways. This is Ronda's comeback story. This is her hero story, right?
Yeah.
So her coming out party, her showing up and, taking the title back or not, I think it's going to be make or break. And if she doesn't win it, I think the fight to make next is definitely Cyborg.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Like a year and a half ago, Ronda and Connor both making tons of pay-per-view or pay-per-view views and all that. They're both undefeated in the UFC. I know Connor lost in the local promo, but they're both undefeated. They both lost. Ronda took a long time off. Connor got right back in there, right back against Nate Diaz. Took the decision win. I think, as big of a Diaz fan as I am, I think point wise he took it. Connor did, and so he comes back and then gets his way into that light heavyweight title. Or not light heavy. What am I saying? This is way too late. Lightweight title. He's going for the light heavyweight next. And I mean, shit, he is like, he's unlike these. I think you said before, he's like, I want equity in the UFC now. And like, he is slingshotted his shit around, where Ronda's kind of like, it's still like, she's still a big star, but where is she at? How is she going to come back from this? Because that was a tough loss.
I think it all comes down to mindset, the people you're surrounding yourself with, and your view of the business as it is, right? Ronda grew up the daughter of a traditional martial artist, right? A very inspirational type of mother, right? Her mother was a judo champion herself.
Yep.
She had 2 PhDs or something. She's a very accomplished person, right? And very strict, very, disciplinary in terms of like how she raised Ronda. On the other side, you have Connor that he's very flamboyant, right? He's very outspoken. He sees it. He sees that it's show business. He's out there. He's producing more content than the UFC does leading up to his fights. He sees the showmanship part as being as critical as the technique and the martial arts itself. It's show business, right? And your pay-per-view buys, the amount of people that watch it, directly impact how much money you make, right? Because if it wasn't show business, they'd be doing it outside for $10 an hour and no one would watch and no one would care. But it is, right?
Yep.
So by honing those skills and putting himself over and making sure people are watching, especially when he's on TV, it means he's going to have longevity because he's not going to have to fight as much. Because when he does fight, it's gonna mean more, right? It's gonna mean more buys because Christmas is how many times every day? If Christmas is every day, Christmas wouldn't be special, right? But it's that nice big boom retail injection in the economy because it's once a year. It's special, right? So
yeah,
that's what it is. He fights his thing. He should fight probably even less often. Going to all these different weight classes, I'd probably calm down with that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be out a bit for the kid. I think he was saying that he was going to be out for like 10 months or something from when he announced that.
He'll be out till he isn't.
Yeah, that's true too.
So for him, in terms of negotiation, in terms of marketing, in terms of just making sure the UFC realizes he is a commodity and that they are willing. So him saying, "I'm going home. You guys have to come find me. I'm just going to stay home till I have the kid." He's baiting him. Come on.
Yeah.
But he's bright, and he's in talks publicly with the McMahons while this is happening. He's negotiating, showing up on WWE programming publicly. So Dana White and WME,
WME.
Yeah, the WME, the group that owns the UFC now sees it. He just does it on Twitter. Has his managers doing it over interviews, over whatever, radio, over press. Not even trying to hide it.
I mean, he's playing the game.
Because he's worth more money here and more money over there, just more money in general.
He's playing the game, and it's working out really well for him. And you can't hate on that. Or you can. You can totally hate on that.
You can do whatever you want to, but it's on the other fighters to. And I mean, I see that they came up with an association or union. Do we know what the penetration is so far? Like how many people are actually in there?
I don't know percentage wise, but from what I saw, they've got some big fighters associated with it, or not big, for big names with it. You've got who is it? They had TJ Dillashaw. Cain Velasquez,
Cowboy Cerrone,
Donald Cerrone.
Yep.
But they got the guy from Strikeforce, or not Strikeforce, Bellator previously, Bjorn.
Bjorn Repney.
Yeah, but like from the things I've read, and Tim Kennedy. I'm just remembering that picture. But they're not
lineup.
Yeah, they're not forming a union. They're forming an association, and I'm sure this can be talked to death by people with more legal experience. Or well, I have zero. But like, the association has, from what I've read, no power to actually bring the UFC to a bargaining table at all. Like, they just be, please, UFC, come to the bargaining table with us, and the UFC can be like, no, and the association can't do shit.
Well, the thing with the union is, don't you have to be an employee, and don't they consider fighters 1099?
They do, but at least in California, I don't think they pass the 1099 California test, because they can't go fight for other organizations, or so you can do grappling, but you can't do combat.
Yeah, how are you given a no compete? You can't work anywhere else, but you're an independent contractor. I never got that. They do that with wrestling. They do it with MMA as well. I never understood that.
I mean, I get why I get why those things have been set up in place now. It's like, well, okay, it's just easier to do a 1099. You don't bring a guy in to fight, because they fight on contracts, so it makes sense in that case. But then they control your sponsorships, they control your uniform, all this other stuff. So I mean, there's certain things that seem wrong, but I don't know if this is. Are
they providing health care? Are they providing health insurance? Are they providing life insurance? Are they providing any sort of benefits?
Which one? The association or the UFC?
The UFC.
The UFC does provide health. It's gotten a lot better. It's gotten better. Before it was terrible. Like, and I mean, I don't mean that to be a dig against the people that are there before, but it's just.
What jobs do you know of that are in 1099 that are actually, you're a contractor where you get health insurance though?
Not tech.
No, of course not. Well, that's the thing you do, right?
Yeah.
In tech, you can 1099. You can start your own LLC and 1099 business to business and just pay yourself that way, or you can just W-2, right?
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to do tech. We're not getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
Right? It's a different job.
That is a different job.
It's weird. I'm wondering how that's going to go, whether it happens or not. Hopefully they make more money. And in the meantime, in lieu of potentially forming associations or unionizing, anything like that, sort of getting out there and learning how to talk.
Yeah, because see, that's the tough thing to me, because like a union to me is for more like for fighting that, you've just got these big disparities and stuff, like between people going out there and like their game, their promotional abilities and all that. And it's like a union to me doesn't help with that.
Well, no,
it helps protect, the groups of people, but not.
It's never going to be a nonprofit organization is the thing. Your ability to draw a crowd is directly going to be tied to your ability to earn, regardless if it's unionized or not. You might be able to earn more, or maybe a livable wage or something a little bit closer, but it's show business. It's on TV.
Yeah.
They're paying for advertisement space. Your advertisement space, if you're Conor McGregor, if you're trying to sell ads for that show, those ads are more expensive. And that is like, and that comes down to the bottom line.
Yep.
That comes down to the money that's available for Conor McGregor. Those ads on those shows are worth more because he's there, because he's a commodity on television and media.
Oh yeah.
Right. This is show business. It whether you like it or not, it's not a popular thing to say because we know lots of mixed martial artists, a lot of fighters, and we know the pay is low, but it's show business. You have to be able to sell your set of skills. At the end of the day, what happens in an octagon, in a cage, in a ring, you have to be able to answer two questions. I say this over and over and over and over. You have to be able to say, why are they fighting and why should I pay my money to see it? And if that's not part of your plan when you're in your training camps, it has to be. It's show business, and it's so competitive now.
Yep.
And without a union, without an association in effect that's able to enact change, that's able to change these salaries, it's able to raise the fighter pay to something fair, because the low end sucks. But it sucked in boxing forever.
I think it's even worse in boxing still.
Of course it is, because where's the bottom?
Yeah.
The guys that move up here from Mexico, the ones that don't do well, the ones that don't make it to the top of the card, they're not rich.
Not even rich, but I don't even think they're getting like 1,000 to show, and then on big shows too.
Yeah. And the job's brutal.
Yeah.
And they're fighting pretty damn often too. Look at some of these records, man. 35, 36 fights, 40 fights. In a boxing glove, it's this. What you're basically doing is protecting your hand. You're not protecting anyone's face by putting this big padded thing on. What happens when it gets all sweaty? It just becomes like you're hitting somebody with a, like a, what do I call it? Like a. Trying to think of a good analogy here. I don't have one. I'm not that violent, man.
Yeah, I don't know, but you think about the fights, and then you think about the stuff they're having in the gym. Like, boxing's tough.
All the full sparring.
Yeah.
It is. It's all tough. Hopefully they get more money. But in the meantime, go check maybe like an improv class or something. Like go to Toastmasters, public speaking. You got to get out there, man. You have to be able to market yourself. It's part of it. Show business. It is. It's not that, because a lot of guys are like, it's the glory and the honor of the fight, and I'm a traditionalist and all this stuff, and cool. But you're also on television, and they're trying to sell that product to advertisers and to the consumers.
Like those fight press conferences, especially the ones with McGregor, like they have been getting ridiculous amounts of views, and like just live views on YouTube, and just all these other things I'm seeing. It's pretty crazy. And like, I like how they're doing more and more announcements, and then you see the guys like that, they're able to get out there and kind of, hey, it's like, hey guys, this is your time. Put yourself out there. We put mics in front of you. We're putting cameras in front of you. Go.
You got to put yourself over, or get yourself a mouthpiece, right? Like, do it like the old school guy. Go get your Bobby the Brain Heenan and stuff.
Wow. I wish
go get one.
That would be awesome. So just just bring somebody else, and that would be fantastic. I'd love to see that fight.
Brock Lesnar doesn't talk.
Yeah,
he doesn't. He doesn't have to. He's got a guy that talks, and that guy can talk.
Yeah.
You heard his mouthpiece? Have you heard Brock Lesnar's guy talk?
Oh, Paul Heyman.
Have you heard him talk?
I haven't heard him
gold. He could sell me anything. I'm ready to throw my money down. That guy is amazing. Just attach him to some of these guys that don't really want to do it. Get him a mouthpiece. Put that as part of your camp. I promise that investment. If they can deliver, if you have a guy that can talk, they've got to really be able to lay it down, though.
Oh yeah,
right. That's worth it to have as part of your camp.
You got that. You've got your fighter, and then it's like, bam, done.
Someone pay Paul Heyman. Seriously, one of you UFC guys out there, or just Bellator or whatever, pay Paul Heyman.
I want to see that.
It would be worth it.
I want to see it
because he can put you over. He can put you. He'll be able. You will sell more tickets. You'll have more eyes watching.
I believe it.
He can talk.
Yeah.
You need it. It's part of it. It's show business. You need to be able to talk. You need to be able to connect with an audience, right? You're telling a story out there. Why are they fighting? Why should I pay to see it?
Yeah.
right? Because what have we been talking about? We haven't been talking about the undercard. We haven't talked about one single undercard. We've talked about main events. We've talked about Ronda Rousey. We've talked about Conor McGregor. We've talked about Mighty Mouse, the world champion, best pound for pound fighters on the planet, right? With his 9 title defenses since obtaining UFC gold. We mentioned Anderson Silva briefly. Another one coming up. John Jones is fighting Dan Henderson submission only.
Yeah, that grappling
right
tournament.
What do you think of that? Who takes it?
Who takes it?
Who takes it?
Oh God, I don't know. To be honest, I'd have to go with John because John's got really unorthodox, I think, types of submissions that I think he'll be able to catch Henderson with.
Yeah, he's also very long, and his submission win over
Vitor
Belfort with that Americana was
Americana,
and then also with that short the mirror lock that he had on Glover Teixeira.
Yeah, but you know what? I saw a tweet from Dan Henderson. They're not drug testing. Maybe Dan can get on that TRT again.
Oh, he had one of those crazy exemptions allegedly. Like it was for.
But then who knows what John will be up to?
Oh, what did he say? Like he's gonna be on the Rhino 7s.
He's gonna be on those specific.
He's gonna be on the Rhinos. He's gonna have the jiu-jitsu boner.
Oh my God. Fantastic.
I don't think there are jiu-jitsu boners, man.
What?
I don't think there are any. I've we train with a lot of women, right?
But what's a jiu-jitsu boner?
No, I've never heard of it. Like you would think if a dude were to get a hard on during training, one of the girls would have complained about it.
They should complain about it.
But I've never heard of a jiu-jitsu boner ever.
Yeah, I mean, at least for me, when you're thinking about that, it's like you're training with somebody. Gender doesn't come into.
It's total. That whole thing shut off during training.
Yeah.
It's totally. It goes away. You're like, oh, what about that? Yeah, I've never heard of it. Never heard of one.
I'd never heard of that term before.
Well, no, because Rhino 7, right? So if that was the supplement he was on, right? Because that's what he popped for, right? That's what John popped for. He popped for dick pills, just like Anderson Silva popped for dick pills, just like clearly Brock Lesnar popped for dick pills.
Yeah, they popped for dick pills.
They're saying they found clomiphene in the Rhino 7, or in the drugstore or the gas station Viagra or the gas station Cialis.
I think Malky went around and bought Rhino 7s until they found one that had it in it.
So that they would have it in there at all. So
that was kind of a joke, but I'm also not kidding.
But that's what Anderson Silva, right?
But that was that was from Thailand, specifically from Thailand. I remember that.
Well, where are rhinos made?
I have no idea.
See, maybe that's the ingredient. I don't know. Maybe that's the ingredient. Maybe boner pills are they're just clomiphene and Viagra pushed together. Like maybe that's what it is.
They're fighting enhancers.
They're fighting enhancers. They could be. It could be what the hell is it called? The clomiphene rhino, right? Hey,
oh man,
you're cynical, Jason.
I'm not cynical. I mean,
he's just partying, man. He's on a boner, and now you're being cynical. It's like can't I get a boner? He's gonna fail a drug test now. It's not even fair. Just want a boner.
Yeah, Jason, you want him to get suspended for like 2 years with time served because he took a pill without thinking.
It's funny. Now you know the answer because of the UFC and social media and like how small the world is now. Now you can answer such, just gems of questions like what would be more embarrassing, failing a drug test or having to admit it was for boner pills? Like what would you do under pressure? You'd be like, boner pills. It was clearly a rhino.
It's fantastic just because with, the internet and all that you can have them report what things they found, and you can have actual people with medical experience be like, oh yeah, that he's coming off a cycle, or like look at other legal things. You can have someone with good legal experience come in and be like, oh yeah, that's full of shit.
So the other side of it, so a lot of people, everyone's beat this to death now, but for people that don't know, the two UFC 200 drug failures, performance enhancement or performance enhancing drug failure tests results from USADA. They were both from a substance called clomiphene, which is used to raise testosterone in males. Right? It's also it's basically when your testosterone level crashes after you use any sort of like foreign anabolic substance like a testosterone or something like that. You would use clomiphene or Clomid to jumpstart your stuff to like get your body producing testosterone naturally again. The other thing that they'll do is I've heard that doctors that, you know, like men sort of health doctors, like what do you call them? Anti-aging clinics and stuff. That's what they call them.
Yeah, that's exactly what they call them.
Anti-aging clinics. They will, instead of like just giving somebody steroids, or instead of just giving them testosterone when they feel like they have, you know, I'm feeling lethargic, you know, I'm gaining weight, I feel depressed, I have low testosterone. The doctor, instead of just going, here's testosterone, what they could do first is just give you Clomid to try to like jumpstart your natural test production and put you on a diet plan, right? Like, oh, you're clearly overweight. Your heart rate's up here. You need to bring your cholesterol down. Need to bring your weight down. We're not willing to put you on testosterone, but what we will do is put you on clomiphene. Either way, that scenario is still considered a banned substance in the UFC.
I mean, the one thing I was reading is like, you know, you're under the USADA stuff. You're a professional athlete. You need to be aware of what you're putting in your body.
It doesn't matter if you object ethically or if you object fundamentally to if it's illegal or not. It's illegal. You sign a contract. You're a professional. That's it. If you get blindsided, you're not sure. You took a Viagra thing. You're trying to whatever. Dude, I can see. Honestly, if John Jones went to a gas station, bought one of these Viagra things, I'm like, you really think he's going to be like, hey, coach, here's the most embarrassing thing I could possibly buy. Is this okay? Could you run this by the commission real quick? No.
He's been doing some ridiculous shit. I mean, before that, he had the whole like freaking hit and run and like other stuff.
But I feel like the level, I'm not willing to compare the hit and run with the drugs or whatever like to a dick pill. I think this like, okay, this is like clearly a sliding scale.
That's all right. I meant more of kind of like the decision making.
Oh, the decision making. He has the decision making of somebody who's young that was thrown into like a lot of money and success pretty abruptly.
Yeah.
And I don't see him as like a bad person. I see he's human. He's human. He fucked up. Like the car accident thing, he handled poorly. He handled it poorly.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt on this test.
Wow. I'm more cynical on this test.
For like I can see it. I could see him fucking up.
Yeah.
I can see him fucking up. Because of how badly he fucked up in terms of just decision making, and man, that was a terrible idea.
Yeah. No. I mean, I totally follow you on that. I guess I'm just cynical onto it.
Did he probably just piss hot and they're trying to scramble to find a dick pill solution? Is it just as likely? Yeah, it's just as likely. But I could see where that could have happened. Yeah. Am I saying 100% it did either way? No, I really.
Dude, we're not John Jones. We're not the dick pill.
And I don't.
We don't know.
I don't actually give a shit. Yeah. However, I can see how it could have went in either direction.
Yeah,
it's plausible that it happened because they only gave him a 1-year suspension coming off of a pretty severe suspension.
I think it was 18 months. They actually did give him the full sentence though.
Oh, it was prorated or
it was
time served or something?
Yeah, it was time served.
Okay.
I think from what I saw with the stuff in there that they gave him the full sentence they could due to the him not having the I guess the guidance of what was going into his body.
Was it his first offense for a PD?
Yes.
Huh. All right. Well, whatever happened to Vonderlei? I thought because he didn't take the test, like his was forever, but now it's not.
Yeah, I think they brought it down. Either that or that's why he's fighting or only fighting in Japan.
Wasn't it overturned? I thought his thing was overturned.
That one's been so long, I don't recall.
Well, I guess we said a lot so far. To recap, we said 1,000 things. For guys out there, we said compete. Just compete. Are you going to compete? San Jose Open? January? Then we get everybody to compete. Just compete.
Yeah, compete.
All right. So January, show up, San Jose Open. What you going to do in One World Jiu-Jitsu run wild on you? We're going to do some jiu-jitsu there. Compete. It'll make you better.
Yep.
get lots of rest, right? So the quickest way to recover is to rest. So get plenty of sleep.
Oh my God, sleep.
Yeah, we'll be on the mat at 6:30 tomorrow. So that's gonna suck. And hopefully this episode hits YouTube faster than others. First time recording using some new hardware, so hopefully everybody digs it. Thanks to everybody for following on Instagram, because that's a lot of people now. It's like over 5,000, which is craziness.
Nice.
It's weird, but thanks for saying all these nice things and stuff. Like, there's lots of really positive comments, so appreciate the positivity. We'll be back here in a couple days or next week or whatever. Same bat time, roughly, same bat channel. But thanks to everybody out there. Be good. Happy holidays. Don't drink and drive or do anything stupid. And if you're going to take a drug test, don't take dick pills.
Or take lots of dick pills.
Lots of them. Super boner mode. There's no jiu-jitsu boners. All right, guys. Clint Cronin Show. Thanks, Jason Yago, Asian cameraman number 2. And thanks to Asian cameraman number 1 over here.
Behind the actual camera.
Behind the camera. Mr. Sunny over there. ClintCronin.com 2016.
Tão natural quanto a luz do dia. Mas que preguiça boa, me deixa aqui à toa. Hoje ninguém vai.